So I met with Buff yesterday. We had some conversations, and in the conversations he indicated that he needed some personal time, and of which we would certainly grant. And Dustin is a big part of our family here.
It wasn't long ago that the Jets announced veteran defenseman Dustin Byfuglien would be taking a personal absence from the team. And now sources are telling Sportsnet that he's contemplating retirement. We're joined by Jets insider Sean Reynolds from Winnipeg. And Sean, I got to ask, what's the latest buzz on Buff? Because I'm sure it's a big topic over there.
Well, it's an absolutely massive topic in this city, but the team has really, circled the wagons on this one. They are referring time and again to, Dustin Byfuglien had this conversation with General Manager Kevin Cheveldayoff, and they want to respect his privacy in this matter. So there's not going to be anything coming from the team. It seems very clear from them that this is a story that if it's anyone's to tell, it will be Dustin Byfuglien's.
Buff has a huge personality, especially in the dressing room. What's training camp been like with his absence?
Well, it's a lot quieter, I can tell you that. Although he does not, appear in the media as often as, we would like. He's a little camera shy at times, but we're told time and time again from the players in that dressing room that he's a real jovial element in that dressing room. He's always joking, always keeping things light. And on the ice, it's hard to, it's hard to ignore what he does on the ice. He's big, he moves really well, he throws a lot of really big hits out there. He's very vocal on the ice, so it's been a lot quieter and a little bit less juice to camp than we've seen in the past with him there.
And Sean, you have got a chance to see him on the ice because he was at training camp and he was skating. Do you find the timing of this a bit curious?
Oh, very much so. I think everyone is really caught off guard by this because, typically what would happen is about, a week before training camp would start, Dustin Byfuglien would come back to Winnipeg and he would get on the ice with the Jets players who come and show up early to skate here. And he did exactly that. It's very interesting because this really must have come out of the blue for, I would think, everyone involved, because we know the situation that the Winnipeg Jets are in. They lost a number of UFAs. Their defense core, they lost a lot of veterans there. There's a lot of turnover. So the last thing that they could really use right now is Dustin Byfuglien being out of the lineup. And my guess is that this is something that the team wasn't really aware of at all, because you would think that General Manager Kevin Cheveldayoff would have handled his summer a lot differently if he knew there was potential for Dustin Byfuglien not to be here. So if that's the case, if he's contemplating retirement, if we've seen the last of Dustin Byfuglien, this puts the Jets in a very, very interesting spot that you would have thought General Manager Kevin Cheveldayoff would have tried to address at some point through the summer.
So obviously they don't want to push him to make a rush decision of any kind, whether he's coming back or not. But what does Winnipeg do? Their hands are a bit tied with the season not far off now.
Well, it's interesting because I asked Coach Paul Maurice earlier today, if there's a plan in place, should he be missing for, a short amount of time or a long amount of time? And he said no. Now, I don't know if that answer means that he's not expecting it to go that long. I don't know if that answer means that that is not what he would ever do. He wouldn't have that contingency plan in place. I don't know what that means, but the one thing that we do know is the Jets seem like they're prepared or preparing themselves mentally for a time without Dustin Byfuglien. He missed 46 games, I believe it was, last season. So the Jets will tell you that missing Dustin Byfuglien, not having him out in the lineup, is something that they're used to. And I would suggest that that is something that, if he's gone, they're going to have to strongly rely on.
Do they have the players and the depth, though, to be able to try to make moves to bolster the blue line?
Well, I mean, that's one spot where you think if it comes to this and the defense is as depleted as it is compared to what we saw last year, there's a lot of prospects that they're expected to bring in this year on the back end. And if they hit, maybe they can take care of this. But if they don't, they're going to have to take some action. And the one thing that they do have is a lot of depth at the wing position. We always go back to last season. Jack Roslovic, who played, a lot of time on the fourth line, he got moved up because of injury to the top six and promptly was named the NHL's first star of the week, had an absolutely great week. Nick Ehlers came back from injury, and then he gets sent back down to the fourth line. So there's a lot of players in this Jets group who are pushing for more ice time, who look like they could do something with the ice time that would be given. And what that means is if the Jets are going to have to make a move to kind of bolster their defense, they do have a lot of depth at the wings to make those moves. I would expect if we end up in a scenario where we're not going to see Dustin Byfuglien again in a Jets jersey, that you would see a move like that made to try and bolster the back end.
It's a busy time of year as it is with the season right around the corner, and obviously Kevin Shoveldayoff has a lot of work ahead of him if Dustin Byfuglien were to decide to hang up his skates. Thanks for joining us, Sean.
Anytime.